Hello, welcome to JIBRIN Angle on Oweleke TV. My name is JIBRIN, and this is my angle. There is a video I want us to play. I want to play this video, so I want us to watch rather, and thereafter I'll come to give my thoughts on what I deduce from the video. It's interesting as we watch this together.
I do not think most of the policies of this government were well thought out. Usually when you have a policy, you will know, okay, this is the time lag before it takes off. These are the things that may go wrong. These are the other areas, and this is how we course correct.
Now, sorry to interject. Yes, obviously, I've said it over time with Barrister Manta on this show. We've been sounding this alarm for over time, and that is just the reality. The policy issue is not it's about incompetence because it's about unpreparedness. Even though Bola Tinubu has been preparing for presidency for how many years? A very long time. A sort of several years ago, he's been preparing to be the president, but he never prepared to actually govern. He never prepared because his intention, like I said earlier, his intention is actually his intention has actually been a personal, selfish, self-seeking intention, not sincere, not born out of passion to do the right thing, not born out of selflessness, not born out of sincerity of purpose. Absolutely not. It is selfish, and that is why the policy, the government seem to be confused. They don't even know what they are doing, because they were not prepared. Bola Tinubu did not prepare to actually govern. All he prepared for was just to amass wealth and power for himself. So let's keep watching.
Correct. Right now, what we have, a set of people who claim that they know everything, and so no course correction. Oh, we must do this, we must go from A to B, and if you don't like it, it's because you are not in power. That is my sense. My sense is really that, first, the age-old thing that is said, that you cut your coat according to your cloth, is what you first do. You don't live as if you are still in the 70s when we had surplus money and didn't know what to do with it.
Is that what is happening right now?
So tell me, why do we have to buy a new plane? Why do somebody even wake up and now say, oh, even the one that the vice president is using is not good, we need to buy another one? Why do we have, I mean, there are so many things.
But you and your colleagues approved all of that.
Well,
you were in the National Assembly when all of that was going on.
I am in the National Assembly, but I can tell you for a fact that nobody, quote me, show, nobody brought anything to the National Assembly to say, please approve this for purchase of a new plane.
You see, that is the problem. That is the Bola Tinubu style of government, the military style of government. And that is why I call, and Barrister Manta and I on this show have actually called this democracy. Of course, Barrister Manta said this is not, we are not practicing democracy, but I call it a sham. This is not, it is not our system of governance. What we are doing right now is just like the military. And so why wouldn't the military just take over? I prefer the military to take over. And that is just because what Bola Tinubu is doing is just dictatorship. Just look, did you listen to, this is a senior Senator Abaribe. He's a senior senator at the Senate right now. He's been there for, I think, 3 or 4 Senate sessions. I think so, if not more, because Senator Abaribe has been there for a very long time. So you can imagine a very senior senator did not even know about the approval for presidential and vice presidential jet. And just like you noted, for God's sake, why do we or did we have to spend money on on presidential jets, especially vice. I think I've criticized this on this platform, on this show several times. It is reckless. That is because that they don't intend. The man mentioned we have to cut our coats according to the material, the size of the material we have. But that's not what Bola Tinubu's. That is not their style. Their style is we are not cutting our coat according to the material we have. We are cutting our coat far bigger than the material we have, and that is why we have this government has been. I label this government as a government of foreign loans. The Tinubu government has been borrowing under less than 2 years. We have applied for foreign loan. We have acquired and still applying for foreign loans. We just applied the National Assembly. The National Assembly just approved another foreign loans of about $2.something billion. Is it $1.something billion? That is about 2.something trillion naira or thereabout. Which of that? That's $1.7 billion or 2.2 trillion. One of them, but I know it's in billions or either 1.7 or 2 something. The one is in naira, a trillion. One is in $billion. So that is just the point. The man keeps borrowing and borrowing and borrowing to fund their ostentatious lifestyle. Borrow to build a vice president's house. Borrow to buy private jets. Presidential jet and vice presidential jet. Borrow for recurrent expenditures. For God's sake, who does that? Who borrows money to feed his family? You don't borrow money. You borrow money to invest. You borrow money to do business that will yield you money, income. But what Bola Tinubu's government keeps doing is just borrowing and borrowing to fund recurrent, not just recurrent expenditure, borrowing to share money to their private pockets. That is just what they are doing to fund their lifestyle. So let's keep watching.
So it was done without the approval of the National Assembly?
I'd say it was done without my knowledge. I never saw any document, and I've always been in the National Assembly. Ask anyone. None.
Do you think that if Peter Obi had won the election, 2023 presidential election, he had become president, there could have been a change in all of this?
If Peter Obi had won, you probably would have seen a better Nigeria than what we are seeing today. Number one, he will not be as nepotistic as this government. He won't. It's not in him. That is just who we are. We feel for the other people. See what we're doing, Sean, because everybody continues to say that, why don't you think you're well? No, we have decided, and I'm part of those who have said that, let us go back to the Southeast and revamp the Southeast and make it more livable, better, more cohesive, and hold ourselves together.
Of course, they will not do that. Southeast, because like I said, I've made this statement on previous shows several times. The other part of Nigeria, they just envy the Igbos, they envy Southeast. They are jealous of them. They envy their gifts and their talents. They envy their resourcefulness. They envy their lucrativeness. They envy everything about them, because everything about the Southeast, the Southeast is a place of is a location, is a place, and the Southeast people are people of milk and honey. Whatever they touch, they touch actually prospers, and that is just it. They won't do that because every government have come, especially except what's his name, Obasanjo tried for the Southeast. Under Obasanjo, we had so many southeastern men and women under his government, and not just in his government, but in key sensitive position. Like we have the Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, we have the Charles Soludo, we have Obiose Kwesili, we have Dora Akunyili, we have name them. There are so many of them under Obasanjo. Obasanjo did well for the Southeasterners, and I think he did some good things on the project infrastructure as well. He tried his best, but after Obasanjo, nothing else. Okay, Jonathan tried a little bit because he is just a kind of a de facto Igbo man as well, sort of partly Igbo, partly I think Ijo. So he did relatively something but not as Obasanjo. But every other government, nothing. Even during military, during the democratic dispensation, they have not done. The Southeast have always been neglected, and it has been deliberate. It has been deliberate because they just feel these people are gifted, and giving them more infrastructure will definitely they feel threatened. That's just the truth. Other parts of Nigeria, of Nigeria, other parts of Nigerians actually, other tribes, they always feel threatened at the Igbos and the Southeast. And that is why successive government don't care. They are deliberately neglecting the resources, the natural and human resources of the Igbo land. So so it is no surprise to me. And unfortunately, so we'll continue to experience the same thing. And that is why possibly they do not even want, also do not want to support an Igbo man to be the president, because Igbo man being a president, he will be compelled to actually, because Igbos naturally they have the culture of actually building their home. That's why you see an Igbo man, no matter how rich they are, no matter wherever they are, they always go home to. They always have one. They go home if they are rich enough. They build edifice. It's probably houses that they don't even live in. It's like a culture to them. That's what Igbos call Akweluauno. That is just it. That wealth has arrived home. So if you are an Igbo man, you are wealthy, and you don't have an edifice in your at your home, at your village, your real village, not your hometown or your village. It means that you are not wealthy. So it's a culture today. It's a pride to them. So that's the nature of an Igbo man. So if an Igbo man becomes president, definitely the Southeast will be better. And someone like Peter Obi, if he had become the president, and obviously in the Southeast, not just the Southeast, Peter Obi could have done well for the entire Nigeria, especially the North. He wanted to focus on the agriculture, the potential of the North. But unfortunately, the Northerners were foolish and foolish. I call it foolish, foolishly sentimental. To have understood. They understood it, but I don't know, for whatever reason, I don't know, they themselves, I don't know, the powers that be in the North probably do not want to. They don't want, of course they don't, not probably, they do not want the North to prosper, because they want the masses in the North to keep stretching out their hands for handouts from them. They still want to be in power, because they believe that if the masses, the common man on the street is empowered, they will lose power. They don't want to lose power. So as such, they don't want to develop what the potentials of the North. That is it.
Because it's obvious that if we continue to look at whoever comes to be president, to look at us and do right, apart from Obasanjo and maybe Jonathan, I do not think that we have seen that.
All right. So you've had it all, and that is just the reality on ground. You can imagine Bola Tinubu just does things. Have you, under this Bola Tinubu's government, did you ever hear the Senate or House of Assembly, National House of Rep, debating any serious bill sent to them by, or proposal sent to them from the presidency? No, we've not had that, for God's sake. It's the National Assembly is a rubber stamp to the executive, to the president. The president just, whatever he desires, it sends to National Assembly, and just give it 48 hours is too much. The next day you hear that it's been passed, it's been signed, and it's been approved. That is just the reality. And that is why I keep calling for the military. The military should what we are practicing today in Nigeria is no democracy. And besides, I am not an advocate of democracy. Democracy is not Nigerian. It is not African. It is not our way of government. We do not have what it takes to, it's our own part, our own way of life is different. Democracy is a Western way of governance. It is not our way. And it doesn't suit us. We can't, we do it. Besides, it's even too expensive, for God's sake. It's too expensive. Nigeria is bankrupt, so bankrupt now that democracy will bankrupt us even more. So we desire, we appeal for the military, not the top echelon of the military. The top echelon of the military are corrupt. They are just like the politicians, and that's why the military, you can't hear EFCC on the EFCC scrutinizing the military or going after a military general or whatever. For where? That they don't do that because they use their budget. Nobody questions the military budget. The National Assembly does not question military, but they don't do anything about it. They don't scrutinize them. So it's a way of bribing the military to keep their mouth shut. So the military, the top echelon of the military, they are as corrupt as the politician. So when I am advocating for the military to take over, I am only advocating for the junior military officers, just like the Oka caliber of officers. Those of you who are old enough to remember the Oka coup. So where you have majors, junior colonel, from colonel down, a majority of them were even majors, so sort of lieutenant colonels. So that is a kind of, but those are the ones that are not really, majority of such ranks are not benefiting from what the generals are benefiting. The corruption of some of them are corrupt. There are some colonels and lieutenant colonels that are in a very political, but they are in political positions where they are amassing wealth and stealing money or whatever. No, of course you will always have corrupt people everywhere. But what I'm saying, there are people in the military, there are officers in the military who are not happy about the system, the situation in the country. These are the officers we are asking and pleading that they should do something about it. If you are in a position, in the military, in a position to actually do something, to rescue Nigeria from the shackle of greedy and evil, rapacious men and women that are fleecing Nigeria, and you fail to do nothing, shame on you. You have to do something. You have to come together, do something, rescue Nigeria. We need that rescuing. Otherwise, we will find ourselves in a very, very in a mess. We find ourselves in a revolution that nobody wants. A revolution that will affect so many lives, directly and indirectly, including you. So we better do something. The military should better do something because Bola Tinubu is just we can't afford more years of Bola Tinubu. This man is just killing us. The man is killing us. And that is just it. And this is my angle.